Welcome to the Tom Bernard Show with
Co-host Catherine Brandt.
Andy Brant Bernard.
And Kristen Burt.
Yes, I have. They make sure now. I get a message from Bernie every single day. You got to say the Tom Bernard Show, not the Family Show. It's got to say Tom Bernard. Blah 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 blah.
So funny. I don't even notice what you say about it.
One tip off that I have for Bernie though, if you're going to send me an email complaining about what to call the show, you should probably spell my name right.
Oh.
Yeah, spell check does not like Barnard.
They don't. Bernard is what they like.
It doesn't like Tom either. You're always being changed to Tim.
Tim.
He's like,
Tim
who's
Bernard. Tim
Try
Bernard
being
here.
Kristen with a Y.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So, Kristen, let me ask you a question. God, I forgot the question I was going to ask you.
No.
Well, God, I was just going to ask you. Who is the other Tom Bernard? Do you know who that is?
I don't know.
I
You
don't-
were mentioning that yesterday about the Oscars.
Yeah, and it was on again last night. I'd like to thank Tom Bernard, and it's spelled the exact same way as my name, but I have no idea who that is.
Now, if I
there's a-
Google Tom Bernard, you come up.
There's a Tom Bernard who is
Yeah,
a film distributor specializing in art cinema, and one is the co-founders of Sony Pictures Classics.
That's who it is. Got to be.
But he spells it Bernard.
Yes.
But when they held up the trophy, it said Tom Barnard, Barnard.
Yeah, just like you.
Maybe it's like a Berenstein thing.
I suppose that's true. It's probably
but
true.
Tom Bernard won an Oscar.
Yes.
Let's see.
Well, he's always thanked.
He, well, he's involved in the Oscars because apparently he has distributed more Oscar winners than any other company in history in terms of documentaries and foreign language films.
Oh, that's probably where you're hearing him then in those thank yous.
His
Yeah,
release
thank
films
yous,
have
yeah.
won
Thank yous.
41 Academy Awards and 181 nominations.
Ooh.
Oh,
Wait a minute.
So-
He's won how many Academy Awards?
Well, his released films have won 41 Academy Awards. So he didn't
And his name
make
is
them.
Barnard or Bernard?
Bernard.
That's Bernard.
And
Okay.
he distributes them. So he's not actually involved in the creation of them, but he's basically like a publisher.
He's a genius in marketing award
Yeah.
campaigns. That's what it is. Because he's
Oh.
getting
Oh, is that what it
people.
is?
Yeah, because you can have the most amazing film, but if you don't have the marketing team behind it to carry you through award show season, you'll never get a nomination. It
Very
really is such a game.
We should reach out to him and have him on the show. I think that'd be hilarious to have him on the show. It's like Tom
Tom
Bernard
Bernard
talking to
show.
Tom Bernard and spelled wrong.
I'm sure he has a lot of really fascinating stories too.
Oh yeah, I think we should have him on when you're on, or you could stay on the entire show. Then that'd be good.
Sure.
I think that'd be wonderful. That's all I have to say.
Find out how old is he? Because every picture I have of him, he's like 60 years old minimum. So
Well,
I think
so
he
am
might
I,
be. Well, I mean, I think at this point he could be in his 90s, as far as I know.
Oh, really? You think?
oh,
But
even
would he
better.
still be working and thanked at the Oscars? That seems unusual.
Let me tell you.
Let's see.
Is your name Tom Bernard too? I didn't know that. That'd be great. To be a great interview. No
Oh no,
question
he
about it.
looks like his first job was in '81, so can't be that old.
So he's
That's
probably in
45
his
years ago. He's probably the same
60s?
age I am.
Probably.
60s, 70s.
Somewhere in there. Yep. It'll all work out in the end. Ladies and gentlemen, Kristen Burt Entertainment News is brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Kristen, I posted a couple of things about sports in Minnesota because a lot of people still, they're big time sports fans. I said, look, I finally at this point in my age, I was very excited at 9 years old. 9-year-old boy in North Minneapolis, very, very excited about the fact that the University of Minnesota won the National Football Championship. They haven't won one since. In the past 65 years, they have not won another football championship.
It's not easy to be a Minnesota sports fan, is it?
No, it is not. And I wrote 3 times about it today. I posted, I'd love to follow these teams. The Twins look terrible this year. No, it's only preseason. I understand that. It could change, but they do not look like they're very good at all. You know, basketball and hockey, the state of hockey has never won a hockey title.
When's the last time we won any sort of championship?
That was the Minnesota Twins in 1991.
Ooh, wow.
That's what I'm telling you.
That hurts. I mean, living in Los Angeles, we've got a lot of winning teams. So every
Yeah.
few years,
Oh, yeah.
we can celebrate something.
What was it, 87 and 91, I think, were the two times they won the World Series.
Oh wait, the Lynx. They're winning
yeah.
championships all the time.
I did point that out.
Sports win a lot.
You can look up my post. I said women's sports do well in the state.
Yes.
Men's sports do not. They suck. They're
the Lynx
terrible.
are quite good, apparently.
Yes.
Is that WNBA?
Yes. They
Yes.
won the championships in 11, 13, 15, and 17. So, I mean,
Aren't
it
they-
has still been 8 years since the last championship win, but still.
Yep.
Aren't they going on strike?
What, the women's basketball league? I think they are, yes.
Yeah, because they want to be paid as much as the men, or they don't want to play.
Well, they're going to have to get. How many people go to their games? I don't know. It's
Yeah,
all
that's
about
true.
attendance, how much you
Any
get paid.
Caitlin Clark game is sold out. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
Who does Caitlin Clark work for?
she's in Indianapolis.
Indianapolis, yeah.
I think she might be the one that's leading the strikes, or whatever.
Oh, the Fargo Moorhead Redhawks won the American Association Baseball Championship in 2009.
So that's that's Moorhead, Minnesota, Fargo,
Yeah,
North Dakota, but
that's
Moorhead,
right.
Minnesota.
St. Paul Saints 2019, they won the Northern League.
Do you remember that
hey.
horrible slogan of that? I can't remember what kind of team it even was, but they had a horrible slogan. And it just so happened that I can't remember where the Beavers team was from. It was the something Beavers. It was college football or basketball or something. I don't remember. But they actually had a slogan, so women block your ears. But they put this on banners and carried it around the college campus. So they won their game against the Beavers, and they moved on then to play the team in the University of Minnesota, Moorhead, I believe it was, right? On the banners it said, "We've licked the Beavers, now we want Moorhead." It actually said that on their banners.
Can it be any worse than
Could
the
it be any
MLS?
worse? Could it be any worse? Honest to God. Anyway, you look that up and see what year that was.
Oh boy.
Because it was all over the news.
Well, has anyone seen the new MLB hats too that over the last 24 hours?
No.
There's been I know that they did they're doing like a logo over a logo. And so like Texas instead spelt like tetas, which I think is tits in Spanish.
Oh.
And so they're getting a huge backlash. Google it, Andy. You'll see what I'm talking about. People are freaking out.
And he's going to be busy
Which
today.
team is this?
Texas Rangers, I think.
Texas Rangers.
Just do MLB hats. It should be everywhere because I saw the article on People.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
Well, you got it?
Let's see. Why are they censoring? Ugh. I can't actually tell what it says.
So
they
instead of it
censored it?
saying like Texas, the X in Texas was replaced with the T, which is the T logo.
Oh.
Oh.
So it's like
Well-
a logo on a logo.
Tetas, which does in fact mean tits in Spanish.
TETAS Rangers hats that were removed from the MLB online store have now hit eBay for $1,000.
Well, it's such a bad design too.
It's ugly too because it's two logos on top of each other on a hat.
They have one for other teams, like the Angels.
They're all ugly.
Instead of Angels, it's ANAELS, which almost spells anals.
Anals. Tetas. You're right. It says Tetas.
Tom, it's so funny that you brought up that slogan because I was like, did you guys see the hats?
No, I had no idea. So they're doing this to everybody now.
So the Astros, they have one. So it's Astros would normally be ASTROS, but then they have the H, so it says ass hose. Who thought of these?
There you go.
And then there's this one.
Yep.
You got another one?
There's the
Anals. Yeah, there you go. You got the anals.
So was in the
These-
conference room when these designs are going out, and all of these executives are at the table. Who is giving the
Yes,
green
exactly.
light? This is a great idea.
Even the ones that aren't vulgar, it's like Pittsburgh. It looks like it says Pit Pug. It's like,
Pit
They're
pug.
ugly. Like they're
What's
just
this
ugly.
one?
what the hell is
Ass.
Who would that be?
that? That has
Ass.
to be
Sorry.
fake.
No, that one's on there.
Is it?
What would it be?
I have no idea.
I'm
The
looking
Angels? No, we already had the Angels. That's the Anals. I don't know who that would be.
Yeah,
Like
these are all
who
very
failed
bad.
marketing 101? Like that's what
So
I
those
want.
are all real.
Those
Yep.
are
All
real.
real.
They were being
How
sold.
could they not? How did they not know this?
I have
So they were
no-
printed in another country, a Spanish country or something, so they didn't know what it meant?
No, I think
Oh, not
It had
printed, but
to,
Where are
manufactured.
the designs themselves had to be at least approved here in the US. Let's just think about that. Because you
It's-
know
it
that they
was-
had 16,000 meetings over these new hats and this new merchandise.
it
So
was
where
on
did
the
this happen?
MLB official website. So the
They are.
MLB signed off on these.
All of these.
Oh yeah, the one Mom was showing was from apparently last year.
Oh,
Was Oakland Athletics,
oh.
and
So what does it say? A-holes?
it literally just says ass on it.
It just says ass. Doesn't even make sense.
Well, it's I think it's to say athletics, but the letters are jumbled up or something.
Yeah,
I have no idea
yeah.
what they were
Like,
thinking on that
who
one.
is that dumb? Who is that bad at their job? Like that's what I want to
Yeah,
know.
that's a bad job.
And
Wouldn't
how
that
are
be
they
on both
making
ends?
probably $250,000 a year to do that?
Yep.
The chat is demanding that I give shout outs to the Frost, who won the championship last year.
The Frost did.
That'd
Frost.
be women's hockey.
Women's
Oh,
hockey Frost.
go
Okay, good.
Frost.
I did say in my article, I said the women's sports are doing just fine. It's men's sports that suck in Minnesota.
And then I
Women's hockey.
did look up the Beaver Moorhead thing.
Oh, you did find it?
Yes, it was, let's see, we just licked the beavers. Now it's time to go get Moorhead.
Yowza.
What year was that?
Apparently they say it whenever it happens. So
Oh, good.
it happened
Wow.
once in 2011. So it's like when the stars align and they're allowed to say it and have it make sense, they're going to say it.
Oh, you
Like
guys
the
just made
actual-
my day. I'm much
That's a
happier now that
mess.
we've done this. I can't. How can this happen? I mean, I understand the college one. That's on purpose. There's no question
Yeah,
about
I
that.
think so, yes.
And that's been around for, I bet you, 30 years. I think the first time I saw that was about 25 or 30 years ago. Maybe it was longer than that even.
Yeah, this guy on this forum here says a local team beat Bemidji. So they said, we just licked the beavers. Now it's time to go get Moorhead. This was a Bemidji Moorhead doubleheader. So, it makes sense.
Bemidji Moorhead.
I get double header, yes.
Oh boy.
Okay, now let's get back to the Kristen Burt report. Good luck to you.
I know.
Good luck to you carrying this from now on.
Boy, I don't know. I don't think I can, match any of that. But
God.
let's talk about the disaster Disney has on its hands that's about to come out.
Oh, I don't
and
know
they
this.
do with it. And you will start seeing it everywhere now that I'm telling you about it. Snow White, the live action version
Oh,
of
yeah.
Snow White is
Oh,
scheduled
no.
to be released in theaters on March 21st. It stars Rachel Zegler. Everyone will probably know her from Steven Spielberg's West Side Story. She played Maria in that.
Mm-hmm.
And then also Gal Gadot, which a lot of people know,
Gal
of course,
Gadot,
from
yep.
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. Yeah.
So we have to rewind back a few years because Rachel Zegler caught people off guard because she was in the process of filming the live action version of Snow White. And she was talking about how they're changing it from the traditional Disney film that we all know, the animated film we've all grown up with. And she was talking about how she doesn't need a man and that she's an empowered woman. And of course, a lot of people just got upset that they were going to modernize the story of Snow White and that she's not going to sing Someday My Prince Will Come. They have a brand new song. And I think what a lot of people, just to give behind the scenes on this, I know a lot of people are like, Someday My Prince Will Come is probably one of the most famous songs to come out of Snow White other than
Yes.
Hi Ho,
Right.
Hi Ho. But let me tell you, they likely created a brand new song for Rachel so that they could get it nominated for Best Original Song at the
yeah.
Oscars.
Oh, okay.
So just remember that before you go, they're going too woke and everything else like that. Likely that was the marketing device behind all of that. But then as things went on, and this is where people got really upset, they decided to CGI the dwarfs. So instead of hiring little
Yep.
people.
I remember that was a big debacle because they had a bunch of them lined up, right, to play the parts. And then
They were having them, they didn't have them lined up. They were always going to be CGI, but we had stand-ins of little people of various sizes.
Oh, okay.
And Peter Dinklage got really upset because he's just
Yeah.
saying, it's
Right.
very limited, the opportunities for little people in Hollywood, and you're going to CGI them. So he, at least took a stand for everybody. And then on top of all of this, then you get into the politics of this mess. Rachel Zegler is very heavily into politics and won't stop talking about free Palestine.
Oh,
Gal
God.
Gadot is Israeli, and obviously,
Right.
and the two of them got along very well during filming. However, since they had finished filming, and obviously October 7th happened, and then the two of them are obviously kind of butting heads when it comes to politics. Now they need to promote the film. And they were brought out at the Oscars to present together. They didn't even look each other in the eye. They barely interacted. You can go and watch it. And now Disney has pulled the red carpet for the movie. And they're just doing an in-house photographer, an in-house crew for interviews. They're having like some influencers do some softball questions to do for social media. And Disney is just like, we don't know what to do. And they're asking like Rachel, like, stop making everything a political message because Snow White doesn't hold a free Palestine flag. So
Not yet.
Not yet, but it's just one of those things that they're really struggling with all of this. And Gal, I guess, has been really following whatever Disney wishes, like just not talking politics during this time while they're trying to promote the movie. But they are saying like this was going to be a surefire box office hit. And now they're thinking box office disaster.
Why don't they vet their actors and actresses better? I mean, if they are some sort of rabid activist type person, why even hire them anymore? I mean, what's the point? You're going to piss off half the people that want to watch it, maybe even more.
Well, Rachel is like 21. So they filmed this 3 years ago. Like this is all developed after they've filmed. So there was nothing that they could do. You know what I mean? It was one of these situations. And she's someone who's young and she's finding her voice and what that means. Because, in your 20s, you're trying to like figure out what your views are and where you are with all of that. And it is, for Disney, it's turning into be a big, big mess.
That's too bad.
I just don't really understand that whole deal because I've been saying for years and years and years. And of course, media went after me and called me a homophobe and a racist and a blah, blah, blah. Because I was openly honest about all this stuff. I don't care. I've said this before. You stay away from the kids and the dogs. You do whatever you want. I don't give a rat's ass. But for some reason, I guess because I was so successful on the KQ Morning Show, they had to bring me down. Why can't people just step back and go, I didn't grow up like you did. I don't know what you went through. I don't know what horrible things or great things you went through. It's none of my business. How about that? That's not going to happen? I don't think it is either, I'll tell you.
It's not going to happen with Snow White either. And, they worked really hard this was a long project to begin with. They've had to do reshoots. It's been, this one is going to, I think, hurt Disney. And we're going to hear more about Disney, and how it is. We're hearing a lot about the parks. People are saying the experience isn't the same. The magic of Disney, like all of the fairy dust has been blown off that whole brand. They spent $290 million making the live action version of Snow White. We'll see what happens when it comes out March 21st.
Nick Swardson, we went and saw his show. He had a Peter Dinklage story.
Oh, he did, yes.
Which was very Nick Swardson.
It was very Nick Swardson.
Apparently, Nick used to go to parties, and if he was bored, he would bring out his junk.
Yeah, his junk.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, then.
And see
Sounds
if
like
anybody
Nick.
noticed.
Wait, Peter would bring out his
No,
junk?
no, Nick would.
Nick would
Swardson.
bring out his junk.
And he said this on stage, so I'm not making up anything or saying anything,
So it's
that's
like the Made You Look
private.
game kind of thing, but
I don't know why but that just sounds like something Nick would do. So Nick's running around this party and nobody's noticing. And all of a sudden he turns around and there's a little person, which of course is
Who's
right
gonna
at that
notice?
height.
you're going to notice.
And he noticed and he looks up at Nick and he goes, thumbs up. And he walks away and it was Peter Dinklage.
It was Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
Honest to God.
All crazy things.
Kristen, why do you think it is that the media cannot do their job? They don't do the research. They just go out and they just blast people without ever looking at anyone's history. Why do they do that?
I don't know. I'm part of the media. We do a lot of research, and a lot of times people don't believe us.
Well, that's why I'm asking you. The reason I'll get through this very, very quickly because, like I said, I've been called this name and that name and blah, 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 blah. When I was 19 years old, I had a friend, and I won't say his name or whatever because there's no reason to do it, but he's a dear friend of mine, and his half-brother came to live in Minnesota. Well, his half-brother was gay, and he had nowhere to live, so he asked me if I would share an apartment with him, pay half the rent and all the rest of it. I said, yeah, no problem. I don't care. This is when I was 19 years old. I didn't care that he was gay, and I don't care now that he's gay. Why don't they bother to check? No, we never did move in together because he died.
Oh, well.
Well, that's terribly sad.
It's terribly sad. Why don't they go back and look at history and see, I wonder why Tom feels the way he feels about this? Because it pissed me off to no end. If they had just bothered to check my history, they would know, obviously, that I wasn't against anybody.
Getting your side of the story. You should always be, if you're reporting one side of the story, you should also be going to the other side. Oftentimes people won't talk and they say they have no comment. And so the other side stands, and that's when a narrative takes off. But if they didn't get your side, that wasn't what you're taught in journalism school. I mean, that's like 101.
I know.
Look at the Patrick Tracy thing. I mean, the guy is as far left as you can possibly get, but he makes one comment that could possibly maybe be construed as racist if you don't know what he's saying.
Right.
And that's all it took. Now tons of people hate him.
And who was the first one to defend him and say, no, even though I don't get along and he hates my guts, I defended him and said that he did not say that, and it's not what it meant at all. And Patrick is not racist. And I'll say it again. Even though Patrick and I don't get along, I didn't hear from him. I would have called and thanked somebody if they had done that for me. He didn't. Patrick and I don't like one another.
Is that
Jude to get a
Yep, that's Jude snoring.
I can hear Jude all the way to Los Angeles, by the way.
He is heavily snoring. Yeah, he didn't even want to take a walk today.
Is he tired?
He was at daycare yesterday, so he must have gotten tired.
And we'll move on from this quickly, but I wish people would stop inserting their own feelings into every story. You don't know these people.
They're not gonna.
Yeah, I know they're not going to. I just, to assume somebody is something that you hate just shocks me that you would do that. I wouldn't waste my time hating anybody. There are people I don't like, but I don't hate anybody because I wouldn't waste my time hating anybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, we live in a world of sound bites and
too
short media clips, and we don't get the full story unless you go and research the full story. And I never take anything at face value anymore, knowing how much misinformation even comes out of my own articles. I can work on like a deep dive article for weeks, and then people will go and interpret it somehow on social media. I'm like, nope, that's not what it is. I see it with my own work. So, but again, kids are not being taught critical thinking skills in school.
No, they're not. That's correct.
Well, in Minnesota, what is it? Something like 80% of, I don't know, what it is, 10, 12 school districts? They can't even read or write.
Nope.
Yeah, Florida, they're banning books. Why are we banning books? Come on. You have to understand the experience of things.
I want to know something as we go to break here. Did you and Catherine talk before the show?
No.
Because I'm looking at the screen. You're dressed in purple and gold.
Oh, Vikings.
We're Lakers.
Vikings.
Go Vikes.
I was like, we're Lakers.
Oh.
She's going Lakers. I thought it was the Vikings, but I guess it's the Lakers. We'll take a break. Be right back in a couple of seconds. I just looked at the clock. I better get moving here. You got to go in a couple of minutes. I will indeed. We'll be right back right after this. More with Kristen Burt. From Bradshaw and Bryant, Michael Bryant. What's up, Pally?
Oh, not much. Doing my usual thing of telling people they shouldn't be texting and driving. In Minnesota, you can't have your phone in your hands. You can use, hands free, but you can't have your phone in your hand for whatever reason. And that's why they made the law the way they did, so that police officers could see a phone in your hand and you got no excuse for why you got it there.
Do people know that that's the law?
I hope so. I mean, they used to follow it, and then kind of COVID kind of made people forget. And now it's like a freewheeling world out there with cell phones.
Let's say you get pulled over because you do have a phone in your hand and you're not watching where you're going. You got to be in pretty big trouble then, I would guess.
Well, the first one's not as bad. It's the multiple ones, the problem. And once people start stacking them up, then they have a big problem. And then what we're doing in car accidents is we've started bringing motions for punitive damages, because I'm trying to use the civil law any way we can to stop this, because it needs to stop.
Whenever I'd had any problems in my life, who was that I called again? It was like an MB something like that.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
What do you think of that action, Bradshaw and Bryant? Ladies and gentlemen, South Dakota, one of the most business-friendly states in the country, and there's no better place to settle down and take advantage of those incentives than in Sioux Falls. As the state's largest city with a metro population over 290,000, Sioux Falls has low business costs with a high quality of life. There's no state, corporate, or personal income tax, no inheritance tax, and no limits to what your business can achieve. Sioux Falls, South Dakota was recently ranked number 1 best small city for business and careers by Forbes, the number 2 best state business tax climate by the Tax Foundation, and the number 5 top state for e-commerce by Nexus. As one of the Midwest's fastest growing cities, Sioux Falls has a robust growing job market. No matter where you're at in your career, we have an opportunity waiting for you. Our city's tax-friendly climate and strong workforce don't go unrecognized. Forbes named Sioux Falls one of the top small cities for business and careers each of its last 15 years. In 2020, Sioux Falls also ranked as the number 4 best city for young professionals. How does South Dakota stack up against other states? Well, we rank second in the nation for the lowest cost of doing business, the most business-friendly state, and the best business tax climate. And as South Dakota's biggest city, Sioux Falls is at the center of these benefits. Now's the perfect time to make your move to Sioux Falls. Visit SiouxFallsDevelopment.com.
Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
Have you ever seen a squawk steers? Well, look at mine.
Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Oh, sorry, you got the big 4 minutes left to go now. What are you going to pack into this?
What am I going to pack in? Just a couple of bits of headlines and news. Nikki Glaser will be back for Golden Globes 2026, and I'm expecting Conan to be back for Oscars 2026. So
Yeah.
I think that's
Yep.
kind of a win for award shows where they finally found some hosts that are going to work moving forward, that people actually think are funny and that audiences genuinely like.
No, Kristen, I need your help with something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in my own brain. I blame my own brain for getting it mixed up or whatever. But Bobcat Goldthwait, what was his girlfriend or his fiance, or maybe, I don't know that they ever got married, but it was Nikki something. Do you remember? Bobcat
do
Goldthwait.
not.
Nikki what?
Nikki Cox.
Nikki Cox. That's exactly
Nikki
right.
Cox. She was with, he's now married to Jeannie Buss.
Oh, he is?
Comedian. No, yeah. So wait, Nikki Cox went on to get married to, I can picture his face right now, Jay. He's a comedian, and he was in,
Jay Leno.
no, not Jay Leno.
Do you want me to say it or do you want to try to get it?
No, I'm going to have to look it up.
Jay Moore.
Jay Moore. Jay Moore.
Oh,
And so
Jay
Jay
Moore? Oh,
Moore
she
is now
is.
married to Jeannie Buss, the owner of the Lakers.
Yeah, you know what? Jay Moore, I love Jay Moore. He's a great guy. Some people think he's too edgy and all the rest of it, but I think Jay's a great guy. I really do.
I think he looks like that guy from Full House.
He's living his sugar mama life.
He sure is.
Oh, is he really?
He's in his sugar
54 and she's
Jeannie Buss?
63 and she is loaded.
Low
From what?
Lakers. Lakers.
Oh, that's right. They own the Lakers. I forgot about.
Yeah.
You know what? The last time I saw him and talked to him, he mentioned he was going to marry her.
Yeah,
She
they did get
let's
married.
see, controlling owner of the LA Lakers and co-owner and promoter of Women of Wrestling.
And I
Thinks he's got some money.
believe, and I saw this in an interview, they don't live together. They live in the same like condo complex, and he has his floor and she has her floor, and then they go and visit each other.
Can you
Really?
imagine having that money where it's just like, this will be my floor of
Yeah.
condos.
He's
Why
got
did you
his
bring
man
that up in
cave.
front of Catherine? Don't be bringing that up
I
in
would
front of
love
Catherine.
my own condo.
Yeah, see?
No,
Way
not
to
your
go,
own condo,
Kristen.
your own floor.
Every woman's like, go to the man cave. No.
Bye.
Go over
Goodbye.
there.
My
Oh,
place would be so
Jesus.
much cleaner if I could send my husband to the man cave all the time.
Oh, that's really nice. Yeah, blast.
He
your husband
knows.
like
He
that.
is like, he's like I can see the trail of where he's been in the kitchen. Like there's a paper towel, then there's like a little coffee stain on the counter, and then
Well, I'm not like that.
No,
I don't leave a mess. What's that face? I don't leave a mess ever.
honey, you're perfect in every way.
I knew it. There you go. Thank you very much. Great to be here.
lies.
What do you mean lies? I do not make a mess. I'm not a messy person.
She rolled her eyes just a little bit.
You're not that messy.
I'm not messy at all. When am I messy?
You're messy when you leave a can of Coke out and Ethan's around and he knocks it over like 6 times in one day.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's when you're messy.
Unintentional.
So I'm messy
messiness.
because he makes a mess.
Oh, don't worry. All of the grandparents do it. We have
Well, I
a
suppose
big
they
old
do.
coffee stain on our carpet now because one of the grandparents left a cup of coffee on the floor for maybe 30 seconds.
No, you
Yeah.
can't. You
Nope.
can't.
Cannot do
I
it.
know. I started looking around. I'm like, oh yeah, when
Whoops.
Ethan's here, we're gonna have to keep him out of like
Yep. Put this up
everywhere
and put
because
this
there's
up and
just
lock this door and yeah.
well, there's no way in a condo that you can keep them out of everything.
Nope.
There's just nothing you
way.
can do.
I mean,
Other-
he is better than last year by far.
Oh, good.
Like because last year he would literally every cabinet door he would open and try to mess with everything.
Yep.
He is still kind of like that, but he's definitely better about it. Like
Yeah.
most of our cabinet lock things, like half of them have broken at this point because they're just cheap plastic crap.
Yeah.
And we haven't replaced them because he doesn't bother them anymore.
Oh,
Like
good.
the utensil drawer that he used to try to get into all the time. He
Yeah,
doesn't
his
really
little
do that.
brother's going to be crawling soon, and
Yeah,
then you're
give 2
going to have
years
to go
and
through
we'll
it
be
all
right
again.
back. Yeah.
Kristen
Oh, I
has
don't
to
know.
go,
I think we
unfortunately.
can. Think we can train Ethan to referee him, corral him into the playroom.
Yeah, probably true. All right, Kristen, any closing words?
Closing words, just the best job in the business. I love these behind the scenes revelations. Vanna White revealed she only works 34 days a year as a letter turner on Wheel of Fortune.
34 days a year.
34 days a year. They shoot 6 shows in a day.
Yeah, but what we don't know is that those letters each weigh 500 pounds.
Yeah, exactly.
She doesn't touch them anymore. No, she doesn't touch them anymore. You remember she used to turn them and then she
Yep.
did touch
Oh.
screen. Now a laser sensor, so she just has to move her hand in the area and it lights up.
Wow,
Ah.
that is a nice job.
It
Yeah.
is a crazy job. The only thing that's hard, and I think Catherine will agree on this, is that she has to do 6 wardrobe changes in formal wear during
Oh,
those days she does tape.
yeah.
That's hard.
That is hard.
Oh, so it doesn't look like it's all taped on one day.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's a minute after. Now she's late for her next job.
Uh-oh.
Way to go. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you.
See you all tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Ladies and
Bye.
gentlemen, Kristen Burt, Entertainment News, brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. We shall take a break. Be right back in just a couple of minutes
With
on the Tom Bernard Show.
Joe
With
from
who?
Louisville.
Who?
Joe. He's gonna
Oh,
come
Joe's coming on from Louisville because I was going to get on the list of people on my phone and see who we should call to have on the phone on the
Let's
show.
start with the top of the list and keep calling until someone says yes.
Yeah,
That's
someone's
I like.
home.
So Joe is going to be on next.
Yeah. He sure
All right.
is.
We'll be right back. Just a couple minutes.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Austin Bartz of Bartz Lawn and Landscape and Bartz Snow Sculptures.
I started banking with North American, I think 3.5 years ago. All the people know me by name. I know them by name. It's fun to come into the bank and actually talk to somebody you know. So I made the switch and I'm very happy. It's the best bank I've ever been at.
So why not bank where I bank? With my friends at North American Banking Company. To learn more about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com, or do what I do and stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
What do you think of that action, ladies and gentlemen? Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety from wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk. By the way, I invited Josh to be on today, but he can't, unfortunately. My guy, because he was supposed to be on yesterday. He's on Wednesdays, but we didn't call him.
Yes.
So, yeah, well, next time we will.
Well, we had a scheduling issue.
There you go. My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions and always provides straight talk, never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608 and set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold. Investment consultant, LLC security investment advisor. Past performance, no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice, and I am a paid endorser. What do you think of that action?
It looks like they actually charged that runner that hit that other runner with a metal baton.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
I
they
mean, it
did.
was caught on video.
Oh, I know, but she was, but they were doing damage control. She was all over the place crying and saying that
Yeah.
she didn't do it, and it's all
Oh,
a big
really?
mistake, and
Life is
her
very
baton
hard
got
for me.
stuck on that person's head and
Got stuck on
made
her
me
head.
hit her twice. You know, you know how that happens.
Magnetic pole from the iron plate in her head.
Yeah, that's it.
Onto the back of her skull.
Yeah,
That's what
so
happened.
she's actually getting charged, whether anything will come of it or not.
We shall see.
We
Is that
shall
what you're saying?
see. Mhm.
All right, Andy, you calling him right now? I think he's calling him right now.
And apparently Trump is pushing to eliminate taxes for individuals earning less than $150,000 a year.
Just eliminate them entirely.
I think it's a good idea. I do. Look, we as Americans have been paying way too much money for everything. And again, you go down the list of senators and Congress people, they're worth 70, 75, 80, 90 million dollars. Where did that money come from? Did you get a little inside information? What?
The Commerce Secretary says no tax for anybody making under $150,000 a year.
Yep.
That is quite the tax cut if that actually happens.
Well, if you think about it, and I don't know if that's individuals, what does that mean for married couples? Can they
Let's
make
see.
300?
Ooh.
It seems to be individuals, I think. Yeah, individuals earning less than $150,000 a year.
So if you're married to somebody who makes 150,000, 125 a grand a year, you know.
Because there's a lot of extra taxes on married couples.
Oh,
There
God,
sure
yes.
are. Yeah,
Yeah.
we file joint every year, and it's much more complicated. But I
is-
would guess that would mean 300,000 for married couples. Then maybe.
I
But
guess.
apparently, the idea is, I mean, that's a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
Let's see, 93% of Americans aged 15 and older would no longer pay taxes.
Yeah. So that's not going to happen.
So that would be pretty much all of the income tax in the country. But apparently, they think that there's so much fraud that
Yes.
if they eliminate the fraud,
I
they
think
don't
that's
have to
true.
tax us anymore. Which, if that's true, I mean, I don't know. There's going to be like Revolutionary War levels of anger at the government if we find out that we've been overtaxed just because of fraud. I mean, it would destroy.
Oh, we've
the federal
totally
government.
been overtaxed just because of fraud and just
No one
because
will
of the
question
debt
it ever again.
service. The debt service that we've been paying it's going to apparently it's going to bankrupt your kids if they don't stop.
Oh, it absolutely will.
So
Well,
I think
there's
it's
no
a great
question.
thing.
I think
I
it's
do
a great
too.
thing. And you know what else is a great thing? Is official Tom Bernard podcast merchandise.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Do we have a spokesperson to talk about that?
We may.
We do.
We
There.
do. We
There
do.
we go.
How is it? What's the temperature today in Louisville?
I don't know what it is right now. I can check, but it's supposed to get up to like 78, 80 today.
Nice.
There you go. So basically, Minnesota is the only state in the union that's not in the 70s.
Oh, we're going to be.
Going to
Really?
be, yeah.
Not
Yep.
today. 51 today, which isn't bad at all. But
No, that's fine.
I vote no.
tomorrow is going to be 73.
Oh,
There you go.
Wait,
Glad to
no,
hear that.
66 today. Now they're saying.
Oh, good.
Well, actually, yeah.
So,
but
yeah.
then Saturday has a low of 18.
Oh my
There's
God.
going to be a what's that?
that's the problem with March up
55
there.
degree swing in 24 hours.
Yeah.
There you have it. So, Joe from Louisville, what is the latest with this merchandise thing? I don't even know about this, so I need to hear all about. I mean, I know a little bit about it, but I don't know all about it.
Well, I've been kind of toying with the idea of doing a print-on-demand business, and I came across that they asked us to do some sports shirts, They're sports clothing. And I found a polo shirt and a golf logo with on the polo shirt that says the Golf Father.
The Golf Father. There you go.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you something, Joe. Yesterday, I was not the Golf Father.
You know, how does this look to you? I mean, would you buy this? Then Andy texted me and said, "Hey, you know, since you're into this, you want to go ahead and run our merchandise for us?" I said, "Sure." And I figured, you know, just get some stuff put together for if you guys wanted to see it. So I just started throwing all sorts of things together. At one point, I had a dog hoodie, a set of luggage, like the vanity plate for car. There was all with Tom Bernard Show blazing podcast on it.
Tom Bernard Show vanity plate holder, huh?
Yeah.
How do you get so many letters on a license plate?
Not a license plate, like the frame
No, it's-
around it.
Yeah,
Oh, the frame around it. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, we could fit, I don't know, Tom BRND. I don't know. It wouldn't work very well, I don't think, for a license plate.
Actually, it would attach to the plate if you have a front plate.
Mm-hmm.
Down here in Kentucky, we don't have a front plate, so it would just go
Oh, yeah.
right on the car.
Oh, yeah,
The
some
front
places do
plate would
that.
go.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's good.
Yeah, Minnesota's always had front plates, I think.
You know what's going to happen with this?
And
You do what?
he asked me just to make up, you know, a coffee cup, a hat, and a bumper sticker. So I did that, and I looked at the store, and it looked kind of sad with just 3 things sitting there. So since Andy had asked, you know, are there any ideas? Somebody wanted a hoodie, somebody wanted a, what do they call it, a racerback tank. Somebody wanted a T-shirt. So I put those all up there, and I even found this mobile phone stand. Somebody actually ordered one of those.
Oh, a mobile phone stand. I mean, those are nice.
Yeah.
We have several.
They
of
are
them.
nice.
Yesterday, I was looking. We have like a bunch of them, and yesterday I was like, "Where are all of our mobile phone stands?" We have one that looks like an elephant that we use for Ethan's little tablet-y thing. So, I would recommend a mobile phone stand, especially if you have a kid who does things like sign language class.
So basically, what we're talking about here, because I was not involved in any of this. Andy just told me about it, and Joey, you had
Right.
mentioned at one time maybe doing it. So other than recovering costs of doing it and a little extra dough for yourself, Joe, would the rest of the money then go to charity?
We haven't really
I don't know.
discussed where exactly. We haven't discussed the split or where it's going to go, that sort of thing.
Would be nice if we helped out a charity with
I
it, don't you
I
think?
don't invest anything in this. Okay.
Oh, so you don't? Okay,
give
I
the
see.
design. If it works, they print it and send it to you.
Oh, okay, okay. So yeah, I mean, like I said, if we can make a little dough for charity out of the deal, I would really, really like that. Catherine and I can't even tell you, and I'm not trying to be a pain in the ass here, but we do believe in charity, that the people who do really need help should be helped. And if we could do that, that'd be great.
Well, we'll have to discuss that at a later date.
We'll get it done.
Right.
All right, Joe,
We
we'll
haven't
stay.
even- I mean, it's kind of hard to find the shop still because our official website hasn't switched over yet. So right now, the easiest way is to go on either the official page or the unofficial page and find the link in one of the posts, which isn't, I mean, it's there. You can find it, but it's not as convenient
Well,
as
in
it
mine, I
could be.
send it to the teachers so they can just go on the group and find it right at the top.
Well, there you go.
Now, like I said, imagine, okay, you and Catherine are going on vacation in Europe, right?
In July, is that, Catherine?
I think
Yep.
that's what you said.
Well, that would give you plenty of time to order new luggage.
That's true. You're absolutely.
Tom Bernard Podcast logo on it. Imagine walking through the airport, a big shot with the podcast suitcase.
But what if somebody walking by goes, "Oh, that asshole"?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you too. How you doing?
Okay, there you
Get
go.
an officially licensed Tom Bernard podcast pepper spray bottle.
I think it'd be interesting.
Now you're on your own there. I don't think they offer that.
I'm sure they don't offer pepper spray.
Probably not. Probably not. Well, we'll stay on top of it, Joe, but thanks for being on with us today. And congratulations on 78 degrees in Louisville. That's great.
Yeah.
He just goes, yeah. Thanks. We'll talk to you later, pal.
The summer's going to be hell. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. That's true. Summer
I know
will be
it's been
tough.
a pretty warm March even up here. So yeah, I can't imagine what summer's going to be like. Hopefully not too bad because I hate hot summers.
You'll be fine. Don't worry about a
I'm
thing.
just confused anyway. I mean, one day we had floodwaters, and the next day we had freezing floodwaters.
Oh,
Freezing floods, fun.
Yeah.
Sounds wonderful. All right, we got to go to break, so we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Joe, thank you. We'll stay in touch on this, but yeah, I would like to get a lot of the money, most of the money to charity if we possibly could, and we'll figure out a way to do that.
Right. Okay.
All right, thanks very much. We'll take a break, be right back in a couple of minutes, right after this.
For Bradshaw and Bryant, Michael Bryant. Michael, what's up?
Dealing with another case where a person gave a statement to the adjuster because they thought the person was really friendly.
Is that a good idea?
Well, the problem is they know the law when they call you up. And while you're trying to be fair and you're trying to get help, the reality is there are questions you get asked that the way you answer them make a big difference. And people put themselves in trouble. And when they aren't in trouble, they didn't do anything wrong, but suddenly the adjuster's got a statement that can blow up their case completely.
What has caused people to be so untrustworthy, I guess is the best way I could put it? They take advantage.
Well, insurance companies have hired adjusters whose job it is to deal with unrepresented people. So they're supposed to kind of lure them in, call them every day, see how they're doing. And people are like, oh, I'm doing pretty good. Where the reality is they've kind of adjusted to their problem that they've got going on. So it's not that they're completely better, but the way they say it gets to be a problem. And that's why having somebody who can explain your rights, represent you, make sure that you understand the law before you give a statement can make a big difference in your case.
Michael Bryant, Bradshaw and Bryant. Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Austin Bartz of Bartz Lawn and Landscape and Bartz Snow Sculptures.
I started banking with North American, I think, 3.5 years ago. All the people know me by name. I know them by name. It's fun to come into the bank and actually talk to somebody you know. So I made the switch and I'm very happy. It's the best bank I've ever been at.
So why not bank where I bank? With my friends at North American Banking Company. To learn more about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com, or do what I do and stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We're rocking out, man. That's
So,
all I have to say.
I would like, Kristen said something about Florida's banning books. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to check that out. And apparently what's actually going on. So does anybody care, or should I just skip this?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Basically, they're taking books out of like kindergartens and stuff, right?
Yeah, in 2022, Ron DeSantis signed HB 1467, which requires school districts to review and approve all instructional materials and library books, ensuring they are age appropriate and free of pornographic content or material deemed harmful to minors.
Yep.
And then another law, HB 1069, signed in 2023, expanded this framework, allowing challenges based on content depicting sexual conduct or material not suited to students' needs or comprehension levels. So these laws have led to thousands of books being removed or restricted in Florida schools, either temporarily for review or permanently. I think that we have all seen a lot of the books that were on the shelves of elementary school.
Oh yeah. Well, because they used to just be like, oh yeah, it's a book. Books are good. Throw it on.
Well,
there.
they were promoting. Yeah, I
And then
mean,
throw it on
yeah,
there.
they were actually they had pictorials about how to do sexual acts.
Oh, Jesus.
And these parents were bringing them to the school board at meetings and saying, why is this allowed? I'm reading this. And they were shutting them down and kicking them out because they were so offensive.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, the crazy activists that are infiltrating every aspect of everybody's life, yes, they are being stopped in Florida. That's what I would say about banning books.
What? So these books go to what age children?
They were in elementary schools.
how to perform a sex act.
Yep.
Oh yeah, because like I said, they didn't vet anything. Because I mean, a lot of them didn't care or had too much going on in their lives or whatever. But yeah, it's just like an author would go to a school and be like, "Oh yeah, here's my book about gay rights," and the school would be like, "Yeah, sure, gay rights are good," but then it actually turned out to be a little more than that. The audience was definitely not children.
Yeah, and you have to wonder what's wrong with people that they want those books to be in an elementary school. I mean, it's like, oh, well, it's freedom of speech. Well, yeah, but it needs to be appropriate.
Well, I'll tell you again. I brought this up before on the show, and this is just an absolute fact, that I was 11 years old, almost 12 years old, because it was in, I think, September that year, so I turned 12 a couple months later. I thought until I was 11 years and 10 months old that boys and girls all had penises.
Yeah, and you had 2 older sisters.
I had 2 older sisters.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I had no idea. They didn't talk about that in school back then. There was nothing like that. Look, I think health...
Well, now girls are getting their periods at 10 and 11, so they have to talk about more stuff,
right. That's a whole different deal. I don't know. Well, we can't leave anything alone. Look, you be you. I've said this before. You be you, but let's leave the kids out of it, shall we? What do you say?
Exactly.
It just, I don't know. Whatever. Good for you. Today's show brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation to 952-925-5608. So what else is in the news today? Anything we should know about? Fantastic? Not fantastic? Anything?
Well, let's see here.
What's in the
I'll go
newspaper today? Canada
Twitter.
stalls on trade pact.
Oh, gee, there's a shock. They're fighting over tariffs in Canada and the United States.
Oh,
and
yeah,
everywhere
you
else.
should see
Well,
the posts.
You're tariffing them, and then they're tariffing us back, and then we're raising our tariffs, and it's very slap fighty.
It seems like, don't they say that, what is the trade where they supply 1% of something we use?
Electricity.
1% of electricity.
10% of the electricity in the Northeast or something like that.
Yeah, I think it goes to Duluth, maybe. And
Maybe. I don't even know if it reaches this far
maybe
west.
Grand Marais or
It's
something.
it's the dam over up in the Niagara Falls area, whatever their hydro dam is over there.
Oh.
They produce so much because there's so much flowing water up there that they sell some of it to us. And it's literally like, even in the areas that buy it, it's like 10 to 15% of their power. But if people are acting like, if we shut down this power, then the entire United States is going to go dark.
Why do they have to lie like that?
Because if they tell the truth, then people won't panic.
I don't even have a dog in this fight. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I don't care. I didn't even vote in the presidential election. I've talked about that several times. Can't we just leave anything alone? Does everything have to change? I don't understand this. Can we tell the truth that they provide 1% of the electricity in the United States, and there are people saying they supply more than 50% to the United States? They're flat out lying just to piss people off.
Yes, they are. Like I said,
Why?
a scared populace is an easily controlled populace.
That's exactly what it is, too.
That Donald Trump is going to plunge the United States into eternal darkness, then you're going to do whatever people tell you to, because you'll be like, oh, can't live without electricity. We need to stop him right away.
Yes.
That's really unfortunate. I really wish they wouldn't do things like this. And it's really hard to find the truth now, by the way. I've been talking to some friends of mine. Local news does a good job of it. At least in Minneapolis and the West Palm Beach area, they do a good job of telling the truth on the news shows. And I think most local news in America is pretty good. I just don't understand why national news cannot stop lying about everything. Because they get more viewers, I suppose. It's all about money, isn't it? Once again, it's all about money.
They are not doing well there.
No, they're not.
No.
National news is doing horrible.
Didn't ABC just have to pay Donald Trump $15 million or something like that?
Because they lied.
And now they're cutting staff like crazy.
Yep, because they lied about something. And again,
$15 million to President Trump's presidential library. They had to pay for his library for whatever reason. I guess because what's $15 million to Donald Trump?
Well, they lied about something. That's why they had to pay.
Settled defamation lawsuit over George Stephanopoulos' inaccurate on-air assertion that the president-elect had been found civilly liable for rape.
Yes.
Which he was not.
He was not.
But everyone believes he was because it was on the TV.
I will tell you this because ABC used to own KQRS. It was a dream back then because KQRS, when I was there, had a 40 share and all the rest of it. They were owned by Disney. What Disney ABC was they formed into the same. They molded into the same company. Disney, ABC, it was all the same company. It was absolutely wonderful. But then what happened was, because they did own KQRS, all of a sudden I had to have some of the ABC anchors on the show. And I will tell you, George Stephanopoulos is the biggest prick I have ever dealt with.
I don't doubt it.
Oh, God, what a jerk that made. Well, I'm sorry. And look, Andy Fisher's one of the toughest guys I ever knew. He was 5'7", weighed about 160 pounds. He was not a big guy. But a lot of guys that size and smaller are the biggest pricks on earth because they're mad at God or something. I don't know what it is. But George Stephanopoulos was the worst person I ever had to deal with. Arrogant like you wouldn't believe. So, George, look what it got you. Got you sued for $15 million. Did he get fired for that?
Let's see. He is. Oh yeah, he's only 5'5".
Yeah.
Always one of those malnourished Greeks.
That's it, a malnourished
All they do is
Greek.
eat grape leaves all day. It's not enough.
Look, like I said, some of the toughest guys I ever knew were 5'4", 5'5", 5'7", whatever. I'm not saying all, but some guys when they're not. Look, I'm not 6'6" myself. You know, every time I'm around Mark Rosen, I get upset because he's the only Jew I know that's 6'6". It pisses me off. You see what I'm saying?
Looks like George Stephanopoulos' contract came up for Good Morning America, but they renewed it regardless.
They did.
Yep.
Even though he flat out lied and cost them $15 million, that jerk, and he's a horrible person. Like I said, I had to deal with him personally. It was not a thrill. I'm telling you that flat out. Most national news people are not easy to deal with, I will tell you. That is, some of them were great.
Well, I mean,
No
God,
question.
they make so much money for just reading a teleprompter.
Yeah.
They all have God complexes because they're like, oh, I'm very, very important. I mean, it's a job that pretty much anyone could do. I don't know why they get paid so much, but it's because it's like a cult of personality thing.
Yeah,
they
it is.
trust these people because I don't know why. So if you replace them, the trust goes down. Even though the information is the same, the person saying it is different, so the trust goes down.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. Now, Walter Cronkite, I got to talk to him a couple of times, and he's been gone for quite. When did Walter Cronkite die? 30 years ago or something?
I don't
Gotta
even
be a
remember
while.
him. So
Yeah, you don't. You
no,
wouldn't remember.
only 2009.
He only died 16 years. Yeah, see, it seems like he was gone longer than that, but that's still 16 years.
He was 92. So
Yep.
he was on the air starting in 62.
62.
So,
But I got to talk to him a couple of times, interviewed him a couple of times. Nicest guy you'd ever want to talk to. He was the biggest news anchor that had ever been in America for a while there. Probably still is, most loved by the people. Could not have met a nicer guy. Just a really nice man. So it's not the business, it's the person in the business.
Oh, is he the guy who used to talk like this?
This is Walter
Yep.
Cronkite.
And that's the way it is. Okay. I
And
didn't know
he
that.
actually, it's funny you bring that up, Andy, because the first time I interviewed him, he was on the phone, and I'm about to interview him, and he goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tom Bernard." I was
You had to, when you're
thank
Walter
you.
Cronkite, you have to give it to him, right?
Yeah, you got to give it to him. So thank you, Walter. I know you've been gone for 19 years now and all the rest of it, but yeah, he was. I didn't know he was going to do it either. So I'm just like overwhelmed with emotion because my mother thought Walter Cronkite was God. There's no doubt about that. She loved Walter Cronkite. I got to take a break here quickly because I just, for some reason, well, I don't need to get into that part. I just have a very, very good friend, a couple of friends in the Wisco family, and I want to make sure they're covered. It's time for Wellshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities. Wellshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Memory Care Facilities are a place where your loved one will live with pride and dignity. If you care deeply about someone in your life, Wellshire is the place I highly recommend. Wellshire is a memory care focused facility that has a full nursing team, always staffed in the building 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They have never used or relied on any staffing agencies. Wellshire of Medina is now accepting elderly waivers after 12 months of private pay. I know them personally. I have, like I said, for 40 years. Might even be longer than that now. The father, the son, it's a great family. I do know them personally, and they are a family-owned local company, conveniently located right in Medina and Bloomington. They're the best staffed memory care facility in the state. Wellshire has a robust community with activities 7 days a week, which is very cool. There's a guy playing the guitar for a bunch of people in wheelchairs right now on the video. I love that. If your loved one is in need of a memory care facility, please get in touch with my friends at Wellshire. Set up a tour. Here's what you can do, basically. You set up a tour to learn more about WellshireMN.com. And that is WEALSHIREMN.com.
Does thinking about
Magnificent.
retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
My Pillow, excited to announce that they are having their first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 30% on their brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one Mike has worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get the 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. The initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And the best-selling standard My Pillow, just $14.98. To take advantage of the first ever mega sale, go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM or call 800-516-5146. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship has sailed because right now every order ships absolutely free. Today's show brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh Arnold for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. So, any other big stories we should get to?
Big stories.
Stories.
Aside from everyone's outside.
Everybody's outside.
Because it's so warm and nice.
Ethan biked around our neighborhood for the first time.
Oh, did he really?
Oh, on that little scooter bike thing?
The Red Rider or whatever they're called.
Red Rider.
You know, the one with the bar on the back that you can steer him with?
Oh. The
Whatever
trike
it's called?
thing.
Red something. I don't know. But yeah, he went all the way around.
See how great that is. You know, I was going to do this earlier because I didn't know. But luckily, we were able to fill the time because Reverend Tim is at a funeral right now. We are going to have Reverend Tim on today, but he's at a funeral, and those are
Yeah,
all.
if he can do next week, I think we got open. Let me see.
Yeah, that's what I'll try to do is get him on next week.
Yes, that should work.
Does anybody know who Tiana Taylor and Iman Shumpert are?
I don't think so.
No.
Oh, well, apparently they're very famous and very rich, and they're
What,
getting
Shumpert?
a divorce. Tiana, T-E-Y-A.
Oh, yeah, I see. I Googled.
Taylor.
Yeah.
They finalized their divorce, with Taylor receiving significant assets, including 4 houses valued over $10 million,
Oh my God.
a 7-figure payment in luxury vehicles like a $300,000 Maybach, and a $70,000 Mercedes Sprinter.
Well, that's
Oh,
good.
is her old husband or what? Were they married or? Yeah, they were married.
Apparently, he was cheating.
He's a
and they're-
basketball player, hence the $10
he's
million
a basketball
mansions.
player.
Oh, there you
Well,
go.
apparently she had money too.
She choreographed a Beyonce song. I don't know. I don't know what any of these names are. I don't know if they're important or not. Star Trek, Interscope,
Oh, so she's an
Good
actress.
Music. I don't know.
You know anything about it?
Well,
Nope. Couldn't tell you one thing about it. Any of these things. Are
well,
they
now that you
important?
know who they
Maybe
are, they're divorcing.
Yeah, very nice.
over so soon, huh?
So Tomorrow's Friday. Who do we have on the show tomorrow?
We have Kermit Apio.
Oh, she's on. I love Kermit. Kermit's a great guy. He hadn't been on in a while, so I'm really, really glad because he was in that studio though. So
Yeah.
Was he? 1536 was the
feel like-
last, I think, episode he was on, I said, right?
yeah, a couple of
How long
thousand
ago
episodes
was-
ago.
I might actually be able to tell you.
Well, that'd be 6 years ago.
Let's see, episode 1536 would have been in 2019, yeah. So
Yeah, 6 years ago. Look at that, me doing that math in my head. Touchdown, Tom.
Look at
Look
that.
at you.
Mr. Math.
were we were on the fifth floor, I think, at that
Fifth
time.
floor over at just above Acme.
Yeah, because I miss
Yep, you're
Melissa
right.
and I met in early 2018. We moved
Yep.
out of the Itasca building in mid 2018.
God, it's been 7 years already. Jesus.
I know, it's insane. It doesn't feel like we've been here for that long, but we have
True.
been here longer than we were at the Itasca building at this point.
There you go. Well, good. So great guest for tomorrow's show. Thank you for listening. Today's show, Tom Bernard Show. I got to mention that again because otherwise Bernie gets all pissed off at me.
Not the family.
I cannot call it the family show. It's the Tom Bernard Show. So thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Every time I hear the sing, reminds me how you talking my